Hello and welcome to the show. The Citroen 2CV has come to Forza 7. So naturally, we are going to go racing with the vehicles. And what better place to test out this car than, well, the Nurburgring. One lap around the full Nordschleife. We're hoping for an exciting race. Whether we will get it or not with these cars, we don't know. It is likely to be flat out everywhere. Just about everywhere around here because, well, the 2CV is hardly the fastest car in the world. Admittedly, though, you know, it has actually gone up to 70 miles an hour. It's one of the first time a 2CV has ever gone more than the speed limit. Certainly a standard one because, yep, these are completely and utterly stock. Everybody driving identical vehicles. Someone has managed to crash a 2CV in the first few corners here. That is a brilliant, brilliant start from the Puma-mobile. Oh, God, we're going to have a crash if we're not careful. Oh, it's 3 wide at about 50 miles an hour, so relatively, yeah, it is 3 wide at 50 here. And not very often you get 3 wide through that particular section of the circuit. I can't do anything. It is so wobbly. This is the first time I have driven the car since it has come to Forza, and it is many of the wobbles go on when you take the corners. Now that's not helped by the rather high curbs around here, and there's a big train of cars. Oh god, that's a hill. Is a really... Do we want third? Yes, we probably did want third going up that hill. It's really noticeable when you suddenly start going uphill. Now we're struggling. We're at 59 miles an hour. Come on, Citroen. Find some go. It's a bit rattly. It's just nothing that we could really do. I want. Can we have the downhill bit? The downhill bit was quite nice. There we go. Gravity is friendly again. Gravity will be friendly again. And then, I mean, if this could get up to a couple of 100 miles an hour, imagine the wobbling that would be going on. Many modifications would be needed for that much. There's just nothing. There's nothing that I could do at this precise moment in time. The Martini car, I think, I gained a little bit through there. It's kind of a case of be smooth. You want to do as little turning as possible because otherwise you're going to scrub off all of that precious, precious speed. And I think I braked a bit too much. I think I might have a car at the inside. I'm going to give him space. A collision would not be good between vehicles. Again, anything that scrubs off that tiny bit of speed is not what you want to be doing. No, he's going to tuck back into line. We have some gravity assistance for a little while, and then we've got a really, really big hill again. It's not going to be fun. Do these things even have a 5th gear? Nope, that's it. That's all we got. We're going to buzz the limiter at the giddy heights of 90 miles an hour, and there is nothing more that it has to give, but it needs all of that momentum. There is a Martini car all over the back of me. I'm going to have to defend, although we're probably not going to have to brake up here. Oh, as I say that, okay, we might need to brake a little bit through there. Oh, Martini car's had a bit of an off, and we'll lose some ground, unfortunately. I was a bit too wide in all of that. Red car, push. Not that anybody has any power to help us in any way, shape or form. So, no, imagine I got a terrible run out of that corner and now we're about to get mugged. Because they are so slow and there is so little power, everything happens over such a great distance. Like, I have a poor run out of that corner, which means I am going to get overtaken. Well, I'm going to come under threat of overtake, but it takes so long to get to the next corner to where that threat might become a reality. Or I'm starting to create a bit of a 2CV train here. It's starting to get a little bit busy. I'm going to have to start defending, and the problem is as soon as I have to start defending, any chance of catching the cars up ahead is very much gone. In cars like these, you start taking wonky lines, that momentum goes. You kill the momentum for all the cars behind you, they all stack up, and the vehicles ahead will bugger off, as we can kind of see up here. Dare we be flat out? Unfortunately, I'm a little too far back to really judge what the leaders are. They were side by side through that corner behind me. That's some bravery going on right there in wobble wagons. I would say a big stop down here. It normally is. In these, it was a minor inconvenience, really, of a corner. I think the leader might have lost a little bit of time in all of that. And so the mighty Citroen train continues. There's one guy who's had a bad start. Puma-mobile up ahead is exploring the outer grass. I'm exploring the inner grass. Oh, not good. I've lost momentum. Come on, Citroen. Come on. Citroen. Do I need to get out and push? I might need to get out, possibly, and push slightly. I'm rocking in my chair trying to get the car to go up a hill faster, because that would probably help. In my head, somewhere, that helps. I'm flat out. I think I've been flat out for probably 85, 90, maybe even higher than that percent. Or you probably will be by the time, because we've got a really long straighter course to go later on. You really got to make sure you get that corner onto the straight right in these. You'll lose a lot of time. Oh, I think we could have been flat there. I'm in trouble, guys. Things are possibly about to go badly wrong for me. Well, it'll take us half the length of the next straight to know if things are about to go badly wrong for me. In fact, things are going worse for the red car. They must have they lost some speed somewhere in that exit. I don't quite know how. Are we going slightly uphill again? I've never had to worry about hills so much in a race ever. I mean, apart from the soapbox racing, when like testing tracks or testing layouts for soapbox racing to make sure that the cars can actually do it under, you know, gravity and whatnot. We are at 58 miles an hour. That's it. We're at 56 now. We are losing. Gravity is beating us. Gravity is stronger than a Citroen 2CV. In fact, the car behind me has lost a big chunk. Might have tried changing down gear. Oh, I think car up ahead may have. Yeah, I think people are trying different techniques, and there's going to come a point when going down a gear is going to be the way to go, and I'm not sure what that point is because I've not driven the car enough. We're still gaining, so I don't want to do anything to jeopardize it. When we start losing ground, that's when we maybe change down a gear. Also got to be very aware that now we're starting to lose ground, so change down a gear, we go. I was going to say, damage is on cosmetic here, but I think my personal settings are still simulation, so if I change down at the wrong point, I will blow my engine to bits. So I can't play it too risky there. At the end of the day, I found myself better off than the cars behind, but I'm still stuck a little bit in no man's land. Now the cars ahead have got a bit more momentum. They're just pulling that couple of 100 feet ahead, and that's going to be difficult to catch back up. They're side by side at the giddy heights of 48 miles an hour further back. In fact, they're probably doing even less than that because we're pulling away from them. It's weird coming into what would normally be really tricky corners, and it's just flat. There's just no problem. The carousel, this will be the first time I've ever taken the carousel flat out in anything. There is small concerns they might wobble over. Citroen, are you going to behave yourself as we dive into the carousel? I say I'm going to take it flat. Maybe flat wasn't a good idea. Flat was a poor idea. Why did I do that? Thought we could get away with it. I honestly thought we would be okay to get away with flat out through the carousel. I mean, we've actually gained ground. The cars behind are having a fantastic fight. Look at that. There is this 2x2 for those guys back there. For me, I think we're going to have wound up in that horrible no man's land. The brown car has made some ground. The leader had a poor run up this hill. In fact, I'm now having a poor run up this hill, which isn't good news for me. We're going to have to go down to second, I think. Oh, he's really struggling. 2CV, find some momentum, please. Otherwise, we are going to fall all the way into the clutches of those. Although we have, I think they've had to do the gear, the gear shift as well. This is strange racing. You've really got to think about. Well, it's so much about momentum. You've really got to think about how the gear shifts are going to affect the momentum and everything in all of that. We are through the worst of it, and now we're going to have a little bit of a downhill section. We go back up to some mildly scary speeds for a 2CV. I can't imagine doing 75, 80 is comfortable in a car such as this. Oh, that's going to be trouble for me. I've been the moron that's thrown a 2CV into a wall. I knew I needed to kind of get some more speed out of the car, and to do that, we had to be brave. It's not really helped. Unfortunately, we have really fallen into complete and literally any other point on the circuit we could be at would probably be more exciting. We've just found that horrible little hole that you can end up in sometimes with no prospect of moving forward unless the two ahead have a very big crash. They are long gone. My exploring at the carousel did not help whatsoever. However, I did a better job earlier on in the lap, so I'm now well clear of the group behind, although they too have spread out a touch. I will be honest, in terms of a vehicle to drive, I did fear the 2CV might be even slower than this. It's not great, and we have got a really, really long straight to come up, and that's not going to be pleasant experience in this. Oh, is the straight slightly uphill? I think it is. Oh, bugger. Oh, bugger. Gravity might win another round against the little Citroen. It's nice to have Citroen back in Forza. I'd like to see more Citroens make their way into the game. Yeah, they're kind of, yeah. Once you break free of a little group, you get that margin as the group starts fighting, and then you just immediately stop. You just immediately hit no man's land, and very little else that you can do. I'm trying to be smooth as I can with the steering, scrub off as little speed as possible through these next corners, but of course you do still need to make it through said corners. That was probably pushing my luck a little bit too much through there, in fact. The leaders are pretty much nose to tail coming around this final corner. Slipstream not going to help, funnily enough. Slipstream is not going to do much. In Forza, you have to be going a certain speed for the Slipstream to actually... Well, for Slipstream to dirty a lap, you have to be going a certain speed, and, you know, it kind of makes sense. You need to be going fast enough for Slipstream to actually have an impact. So I don't think these would be going quick enough, even if, you know, I was right behind somebody. For the leaders, that's going to come down to the final corner. That is going to come down to a dive at the final corner. You can see they've all moved across to the far side of the circuit. The cars behind are, yeah, I mean, holding. The leader is... Oh, I don't know, we're catching like a couple of feet every so often. I don't quite know how. Maybe we got a better run onto the straight. Although they are now starting to climb, and I'm going to hit that uphill section soon, and then it's going to start being pain. It will be a case of guess the time to downshift. Yeah, you see the cars behind are starting to catch, but it's all this sort of concertina effect as we start to hit the uphill section here. Nothing to worry about so much at the moment. It's kind of a case of do as little steering, little movements as possible to make sure we keep the car going where we want it to, but don't scrub off any unnecessary speed. Now the leaders have crested the hill, they're starting to go down the other side again. They're going to pull further away, and we're going to start pulling on the vehicles behind. In fact, the black car has done a good... I don't know where on earth he's got some speed from to make that one work. He got a better run up the hill. It's well played to have got a pass there. I'm still struggling with gravity here. Gravity is hurting my 2CV. I'm not sure if I want to change down or not towards this final corner. It might be a little bit dicey. I think we're going to have to go for a downshift in all of that. Not got a great amount of speed through here. We are starting to... lose ground, and not that it is really going to matter, even with a little bit. Oh no, it might matter. Come on, 2CV, go! He's not going to matter. He's not going to be able to get past. Oh, that was a bit close. That was a teensy bit closer than I would perhaps have liked. I ballsed up that final corner massively. I don't know where I was going. Well, I still don't know where I was going. I just think I could throw the car in with more speed than I actually could. Nearly cost me. Nearly cost me in the end of all that. It was an exciting start. It was an exciting start to the race. Things went a little bit interesting further down the line, shall we say, and then a little bit less interesting when we hit no man's land. Unfortunately, that's what happens when it can happen when it comes to any vehicle, especially vehicles like this. It's a different sort of driving. A different sort of driving with the 2CVs. You've really, really got to be aware of momentum, and just... Momentum, of course, is very important whenever you're racing, but things like hills and so on are going to throw these cars off so much by their lack of speed that it becomes, yeah, odd. Odd to say the least, but it's a cool addition. It's nice to see it in Forza 7, and I'm sure there's plenty of silly things that we will be able to do with the car. That, though, is going to be it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.